This is your Midco Sports Network game wrap from Omaha, where South Dakota State has just beaten the Mavericks 87-68, and South Dakota State really on a roll right now, aren't they, Brad?
They're playing excellent basketball. Ever since the second half up in Fargo last week, they have outscored their opponents by 63 points. They demolished Western Illinois at home on Wednesday, and they really took it over here in the second half tonight.
A little bit of combination of Scott Nagy's favorite, good defense, and some poor shooting by Omaha. But Mike Roston-Poor, one of the funnest players to watch in the Summer League. He had 11 points, 13 rebounds here tonight for Omaha. But the Jackrabbits led this thing in the first half, mostly because of that guy, George Marshall, the transfer from Wisconsin, got it going early. He had a dozen in the first half, ends up with 25. The pace was pretty frantic through the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, you could say Omaha really had the game going tempo-wise the way they wanted. They just weren't being efficient enough on their own end, even though they got a lot of that right there, offensive glass.
Here's Trayshawn Thurman, the very nice-looking freshman for Omaha. Ends up with 12 points, another 8 rebounds tonight for him. That soft little fadeaway jump shot. And Jackrabbits led by 9 in the first half, led by 9 at the half. But it was Marshall who has really strung a couple of very good games together here for South Dakota State that got him off to that place. He and Reed Tellinghusen, who hit some threes early on. There's that block by Connor Devine at the end of the first half. But South Dakota State 41-32 behind Marshall and Tellinghusen in that first half.
Tellinghusen was huge, and again, he's inserted in the starting lineup because Zach Hortzman's injured, and he really answered the bell. Hit 3 big threes that gave South Dakota State some scoring momentum when they needed it.
All right, and then second half, kind of more of the same thing. The Jacks would build a very big lead. Marshall stayed hot. He made 5 threes in the game, 3 more of those coming in the second half. Got himself to the basket from that left side a couple of times. But the threes were falling down. 5 of 8 on 3-point shots for Marshall on his way to 25 points. Cody Larson with the block. Lane Severin gave him some good minutes. There's Tellinghusen finishing off a drive. 19 for the freshman Tellinghusen tonight. Again, starting instead of Zach Hortzman, who's out with an ankle injury right now. Lane Severin, the redshirt freshman from Pierre, had 5. And then DeAndre Parks kind of took over in the second half, made 11 of 12 free throws down the stretch. He had 18. Cody Larson fouled out with about 5 minutes to go. He had 9 points tonight. But the Jackrabbits put it away 87-68. And the final numbers, just 1 3-point shot went down in 16 attempts for the Mavericks, while the Jackrabbits were knocking down a dozen.
Well, credit South Dakota State. What they did on the defensive end of the floor, holding Omaha to just 27%. 68 points, that's 10 points below what Omaha usually scores. And when you can do that and really hold a team down, South Dakota State easily cruises to the win with how well they did shoot the basketball.
Lane Severin had a couple of those block shots you see there. And the Jackrabbits, hasn't been the case this year. They had 15 assists and 13 turnovers. They take care of the ball usually, but those assist numbers were up a little bit more tonight.
They really did a nice job sharing the basketball, and they played off each other. And that's the thing that really impressed me about how George Marshall played in this game, Tom. He wasn't forcing shots. He really let the open ones come to him, and then when he got on a roll, his teammates started feeding him, and he really carried them.
Jake Biddle had 2 points and 5 assists. He's kind of become the point forward for them a little bit, hasn't he?
He has. He's been kind of the setup guy, a guy that's okay being kind of a secondary option, and it's really served this team well for him to take that role.
Jack's got some really some contributions from everybody that played. They played 10 guys again here tonight, and South Dakota State wins it 87-68. The Jacks get to 11-7 overall. They are 2-2 now in Summit League play. Omaha drops to 1-3 in the league, and that's your game wrap here from Omaha.